In this video, I build a house in every Minecraft biome, starting with the plains biome and working my way up. And as the biomes get fancier, the houses will too. For the plains house, I built it out of cobblestone, wooden planks, glass panes, and a bunch of torches, and I think it actually worked out pretty well for a house that I built in only a single Minecraft day. So let's move right on into the next biome, which is going to be the forest. I started off by placing down some cobblestone, a wooden floor and a wooden door, and some birch planks and some birch wood, and even some oak wood too. I was then able to make my cobblestone roof and put down some birch and oak stairs before I was able to place down some glass panes to complete the windows and essentially complete the house. So with the forest house done, let's move right on into the next house, which is going to be the birch forest. And the birch forest is one of my favorite biomes, and I'm of course going to use some birch wood, and I'm also going to use some water so we can take advantage of this nice mountain with a waterfall. And I'm also going to use glass for the floor so we can see that water from inside the house. I'll use some oak slabs for the roof, and finally use some glass panes for the window, and that should just about complete the birch forest house. And it is quite a beautiful house with a great view of the lake, but I think the next house is going to be even more beautiful because it is going to be the dark forest house, which I will be constructing out of dark oak wooden planks, polished andesite, polished granite, and of course some wooden logs too. We'll also be adding in glass panes for the window again. I think you can tell I like using those, and I'm also going to place down a crafting table, place down my bed, place down some torches, and there you go. I think that overall the dark forest house is pretty awesome, but if you're like me and you want some more variance, you don't want to just be building forest houses over and over, let's move into the next biome, which is actually pretty close by and is actually going to consist of 3 biomes. That's going to be the Pale Garden, the Grove, and the Mountains. And I will be constructing this house out of polished andesite, some spruce wood planks, and of course some spruce wood fences and slabs too. So let's jump on down and take a look at it. And yeah, it looks pretty good. It's a nice little tower, and I think that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and climb up the ladder, which I have placed inside, and take a look and enjoy the view. But of course, this isn't going to be the only part of the house, because if you look to my left, or I guess the right side of your screen if you were looking back there, then you will see that there is actually now another tower which I have constructed to fit the Pale Garden biome. And I think this tower looks pretty great. It is made out of polished andesite and pale oak wood and pale oak wood planks, and I think it works out pretty well. And if we climb all the way up, you will notice this tower actually has 3 floors instead of 2. That's because the ground level in the Pale Garden was a bit lower than in the Grove. So let's move on to the next house, which is going to be the Meadow House. Now the Meadow House, there's not really any trees generating in the meadow, so I decided to make it out of birch wood, and I also decided to make it out of spruce stairs and spruce slabs, although I did have a little trouble placing them down, but then I used pale oak wood planks for the walls, and coal blocks and snow blocks for the floor, glass panes as always for the windows, and I decided to use a pale oak door because I think that one looks pretty awesome, and sure enough, I think the house does look pretty awesome as well. So with that in mind, we were able to do a pretty good interior as well. We got a table and chairs, we got some furnaces, we got a crafting table, chest, and a bed, and I think overall that house works out pretty well. So let's move right into the next biome, which is going to be the Cherry Grove. And this Cherry Grove biome turned out to be quite small for some reason, so instead of chopping down the whole entire biome just to build a house, I decided to build a tree house, and I think it actually kind of worked out well, although I was kind of sad to learn that glass panes do not connect to leaf blocks, but I just used trapdoors instead. I used some cherry slabs for the roof of the house, and I did use some cherry stairs to allow you to get into the house, and I think the house worked out okay. It's obviously not the best. In fact, it's probably kind of a bad tree house, kind of small, but you know what? I think it works out pretty well. So let's move on to the next biome, which is actually going to be the Savanna biome. But before we do that, let's see if I can make this jump. It looks like a pretty far jump, doesn't it? Let's see if I can make it. Can I do it? And yes, I can. So maybe you should subscribe because I was able to make that jump. But anyway, let's move to the Savanna biome. We're going to use some logs, and we're going to use some acacia logs because acacia trees are the tree of the Savanna biome. And we're going to use some acacia slabs and acacia stairs because we're going to make this a nice little fort, like a little fort you get up in. You climb up a ladder, and there's a bunch of torches too along the outside. But with that in mind, I think that was a pretty short Savanna house, probably not the best one, but it's okay. So let's move into the Flower Forest and Sunflower Plains biomes next. And what better way to connect the 2 flowery biomes of the game than with a bridge? And I think this bridge is pretty good. We did have a little bit of a zombie attack while building it, but I was able to use a whole bunch of different woods. I used oak wood, cherry wood, birch wood, and it all worked out pretty well. I then started to work on the actual house, which I used all sorts of different types of wood again, mainly acacia, oak, and birch, and I was eventually able to place down some doors, and I even built a little loft out of spruce wood, placed down my crafting table and my chest, and even some ladders to access the loft because obviously we do need a place to put the bed down, and I think what better place than to put the bed than in the loft. But let's hop down from the loft now because I need to place down my table and chairs because even in the Sunflower Plains biome you do still need a place to eat. Maybe you'll be eating sunflower seeds or something, but we'll also place down our furnace so you can cook some food there, and I think that works out pretty well. And I actually think this has probably been my favorite house so far. But let's move right into the next biome, which is going to be the jungle. And I thought that, you know, with jungle, pretty tall trees, I thought it might be nice to make a tree house. So that is exactly what I decided to do. I used my shears to collect some jungle leaves, placed down my glass panes as well, and also my jungle doors and my jungle fences and my torches, because every house in Minecraft needs a torch, and I think that actually works out quite well. So using the ability to walk through here and walk from different jungle tree to different jungle tree, we're actually able to find a pretty nice little place here in the jungle where I can have my tree house and where I can have my bed right up here in the top tree of the jungle. But let's move on to the next biome, which is going to be the swamp. And I actually found a little swamp hut here, so I figured, you know what, why don't we just steal the swamp hut from the witch and take it over and maybe even expand it a little bit. So that is exactly what I decided to do, and the witch took a few hits to take out, but that was worked out fine anyway. We were able to break down the crafting table and the cauldron, and we were able to expand the roof a little bit, making it, you know, a bit higher inside, so I'm not always bumping my head into the ceiling. Place down some fences, place down some spruce slabs, and of course some more torches as well, because as I said, every house in Minecraft needs a torch. Come on. So let's jump right down into the water and take a look, and it actually looks kind of okay. I mean, it's not the best house, but it's okay. I mean, it's certainly better back when the witch had it. I think that my improvements have probably at least slightly improved the house. So let's move right into the next biome, which is actually going to be the windswept hills, and we can actually see 3 structures from right here on top of this hill, so I think it's definitely a good place to make a house. So I leveled out some of these stone, and I decided let's place down some cobblestone, and let's build this house mainly out of cobblestone, but also out of some wood as well. So I started with acacia wood for the floor, and I used, of course, some birch wood for the ceilings, and some glass panes for the windows, and even some birch slabs for the roof, and then some ladders and some spruce fences to get to the roof. But I did end up falling off, so that's fine though. But here it is. Here is the windswept hills house, and it's okay. I mean, it's not the best, but hey, if we add in a painting, maybe that'll make it better, right? I mean, let's just place down a painting right above the door. What could go wrong? So maybe that was a subpar experience, but you know what, let's move on to the windswept forest biome next, and I think I'll build like an infinity pool of some kind. I'll use some birch wood, birch trapdoors, and of course some glass so that you can look over the edge, and of course we will make the house out of a block of wood that is actually native to the environment, and that would be spruce wood, and we'll use some oak wood as well, because why not? And we will put all of that together to create the roof, and we'll of course put some torches on the roof to light it up, and we'll also use some birch wood for the flooring of the main floor, and we'll use some cobblestone for the walls, and we'll also use some glass for the roof of the main floor, and finally we'll put down our furnace and our crafting table down, and that should just about finish the house. We'll of course use an acacia door because I still have one of those left over, and I think that works out pretty well. So there you go, there is our windswept forest house. So let's move on to the next biome, which is going to be the taiga. And for the taiga house, we are of course going to be using spruce wood, and we'll be using both spruce wood planks and spruce wood logs, and we'll be connecting those over to create a nice little log cabin. I think a log cabin probably makes the most sense for the taiga biome, and we'll use some glass panes because why not? We'll put down our bed, and we'll put down our crafting table, our furnace, and our double chest. And I think with that done, that actually makes a pretty good taiga house. I mean, probably not the best taiga house, but it's okay, right? I mean, let's take a look on the outside, and okay, maybe that house is not very good. But let's move over into the next biome, which is going to be the ocean. And the ocean is a pretty big biome, but it's also kind of difficult to build a house in. So I figured let's go ahead and swim under the ocean, because I hope to build my ocean house in a underwater cave. So let me see if I can find one. And I think with a little bit of help here from my brightness, I should be able to hopefully find a nice little cave where I can build my ocean house. Although it might end up being more of a shack than a house, we'll just have to see. But by placing down my torch and by knocking out some of this stone and diorite over here, I should be able to build a nice little pier where I can place down my boat, and I think a birch boat is probably going to make the most sense for this. We're going to be able to build our small little ocean shack right here. So let's place down the polished diorite here, and that pretty much completes my ocean house. Pretty small, really. Just dug it in a cave. But what's in this chest? Oh, it says subscribe. Oh, well, I mean, if it says subscribe, you probably should do that then. So go ahead, come on, click that subscribe button. Anyway, let's move into the next house, or the next biome, which is going to be the frozen ocean biome. And I figured let's do a nice little modern house design here, so I decided to place down my polished andesite slabs and my glass panes and my wooden logs, and I even decided to use the axe to strip the logs to make them look even just a little bit better, and by placing down my spruce wood door, and by also placing down my chest and my crafting table, I was able to create a pretty good looking little house here. So I think that works out pretty well, or actually it's not really that great, but let's move into the next biome, because I assure you this biome's house is going to look beautiful, and is probably the one I'll use for the thumbnail, because this is going to be the snowy plains biome and the ice spikes biome, and this house is going to be built on a little birch log platform with some cobblestone supports as well, and I think that by using cobblestone slabs for the bottom here, and by using some snow blocks to build the kind of main part of the house off of, we're going to actually make this look pretty good. We'll use some glass panes for the windows as always, and of course we will build up up these snow blocks pretty high and use some cherry blocks for the top layer here, just to add a little bit more variance in the wood. And we'll also use some pale oak stairs for the roof, and also some stone slabs and some smooth stone blocks for the roof as well. Finally, we'll place down our torches, place down a ladder so we can actually get inside the house. We'll place down our birch door as well. I think that's probably my favorite type of door. And we'll also, of course, fill up the interior of the house. We'll put down some tables and chairs here, and I think, of course, every house needs a table and chair. I decided to use oak wood for this house because I hadn't used that in this house yet, and I, of course, decided to place down my bed. I used a black bed here, and I think this bed worked out pretty well, and I think this house worked out pretty well as well, too, because we ended up even having a little kitchen there. We had some furnaces, we had a fridge, and we even had a crafting table. So, let's move into the next biome, which is going to be the Mushroom Island biome. This is actually my favorite biome in the game, and the giant mushrooms that it features are kind of already pre-built houses. So I'll place down my crafting table, furnace, and bed, and I'll move right over into the next biomes, which are going to be the desert and the mesa biome, also known as the Badlands. Now, the mesa biome, I decided let's try building this structure. I think you might be able to tell what it is once I've got my glass panes in and all that done. We'll put down our stone slabs, and we'll put down our furnace and our crafting table, because of course we do, and hopefully you should be able to know what structure that is. So let's move into the desert biome now, and the desert biome, I'm just going to build a simple little house here out of sandstone, which of course is one of the main blocks you find in the desert that doesn't fall down. We'll also use some oak wood, because I think that looks pretty good, and we'll give this little house here a top hat, because why not? I mean, it's a chimney though, but we'll put some cobwebs there to simulate smoke coming out of the chimney, and we'll put down some cherry doors, and we'll also use some trapdoors. I think I'll use birch because I think that's pretty beautiful, and we'll put down some torches as well, and there you go. There's my desert house, and there's also a Badlands house. But with those two houses complete, we're actually done with the overworld biome, so let's move into the nether now, and we're going to start with the Soul Sand Valley, where I will gather some great nether resources. That includes soul sand, of course, basalt, bone blocks, and even some of the netherrack. So let's put those all together with my pale oak planks from the overworld, and let's make a nice little nether house. And I think this actually works out quite well for the Soul Sand Valley. We'll place down my crafting table, my furnace, and my chest, and there you go, Soul Sand Valley house done. Next biome up is going to be the Nether Wastes biome, and we're going to start by going into the Nether Fortress here just to collect a few more materials. We'll have to fight off a few wither skeletons to do that, but with resource collection out of the way, let's get right into building the actual house. We'll use some snow blocks for the floor and some sandstone for the roof, and we'll also use some pale oak planks to surround the doorway, and for the doorway itself, we'll of course also be using some pale oak stairs and of course a pale oak door, and we'll also put down a Happy Ghast in this house. Do you have anything to say to us, Mr. Happy Ghast? But with that out of the way, let's get right into the Basalt Deltas biome, which is probably my favorite nether biome, and we're going to use some basalt, and we're going to use some blackstone blocks as well. We'll use a birchwood floor because I think that makes the most sense. As always, use some glass panes for the windows, and of course make the roof out of blackstone too. Place down my chest, furnace, and crafting table, and let's get right into the next biome, which is going to be the Crimson Forest biome. And what better way to start the Crimson Forest biome than with some of its Crimson High-Fae blocks, or whatever they're called. I think that is what they're called. But we'll place those in, and we'll also place down some Crimson slabs for the roof, glass panes as always for the windows, and I think that works out pretty well. Next up biome is going to be the Warped Forest, and the Warped Forest is of course the Blue Forest, the counterpart of the Crimson Forest, and we're going to kind of build like a little pirate ship here. We'll see how well that turns out, but let's also go ahead and place down some fences here. We'll place down some more blocks, and of course we will place down glass panes for the windows, because of course we will, and we'll also go ahead and run through the pirate ship here, and I think it's turned out okay. I mean, it's not really much of a house, but anyway, with that in mind, is there anything I'm missing? Oh, you think like the end? Well, I'm thinking of the beach biome, but I did that a while ago. But okay, I mean, like, we might do the end in another video. I don't know. If this video gets, what, like 20 likes, maybe I'll consider doing like another video or something like a sequel. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, go ahead and click the one on screen right now.